Hi everyone. So in this video, I wanted to share my experience at Assemble. So I got an opportunity to be at the conference, which is Assemble, which it was in New York. And Assemble is basically a conference that is held by the Chainguard team. So if you just you can actually just go and look at Assemble or Chainguard, or you just Google for it, and you will find out more about this conference and what it was about. I just wanted to give some highlights which will be helpful to the community. So Chainguard is a company I've been working in with their products, and they basically deliver container images which are secure, vulnerability free. In another some of other my videos, I have covered what is a container image, what is a base image, and then also I've covered how it Docker does it and how Chaincar does it. So I'm not like advertising any particular vendor, but basically it's one of the vendors that will give you vulnerability free images. So what I found at this conference was that they kind of had very new interesting products which I wanted to share, and that information can be helpful to other people. So if you just go to uh, their dev, this is the company, and you can know more about it. What are the new features and what do they deliver? So basically, initially, when I've been working on this product, so they initially have a lot of most of the stuff is, if you see their products, it will be mostly with their containers, right? So basically, they will give vulnerability free images. They will give vulnerability free images, and these images can be used, some of them are free, so they can be downloaded. And your base image, for example, if you're running a Python app, you need, for to run anything inside a container, you need an image. So definitely, if you're building a Python app, you will go to Docker Hub and you'll do Docker pull Python. Similarly, you can change the, and Chainguard containers are also, images are also available in Docker Hub. So that was initially their offering, and they started with the Chainguard VMs, and they've been delivering OS packages. So in the recent Assemble, what I've learned was that they had a new product which is called Chainguard Libraries. So this, what is a library? So let me quickly go and explain a little bit. So this is the one that they have offered, right? So what happens, what is a library? So let's look at it. So when you have a container image, there is something which is called OS, because an image is basically the whole your app. So your app needs to run on operating system, so that can be anything, Alpine, Debian, or any image base layer. Now on the top of that, you will have to have the, if your application is a Python, you'll need Python to run it. So a lot of time we do app apk add, we add the Python layers. So that is the app. And then you need packages. For example, you need curl, you need OpenSSL. So those are called packages. And then finally, you need libraries for your app. So for example, if you're running a UVcorn image in Python, you'll need that library. You'll need fast API. So you do all that using pip install. So initially when I started working with Chainguard, we were like, they have definitely a lot of application images, and then also they have packages. And with this year's Assemble, we learned that they're providing your libraries which are also vulnerability free, which means that you don't have to worry about any vulnerabilities that are occurring in those libraries. So if you see, this is what they have it. So for example, and then how they, this is basically they shared is how they built it, but they just what they do is they have this whole factory which they call Chainguard factory, which has everything automated. So you can directly, so what it does, it automatically continuously pulls from the upstream wherever the package or the library is free from vulnerability, and then they rebuild it. So then that does is that eliminates a lot of malware and vulnerable code, which is a part of the library. And you don't have to spend time doing that. So what you get is, you get a free vulnerability free image, you have free vulnerability free packages, and then you have vulnerability free library. So that was a very good product. And another thing they talked about was, so wait, so one, I think one more thing, yeah. So I just want to give you an, when I'm talking about libraries, like, so what they have today is they have for Python, for Java, and JavaScript. I think they're still working on others like Node, but these are the ones that they've already started to provide. So that is something that can, if you're in this space and you're looking, you can actually explore this. Another thing which was is, everything is more, now everything is moving towards AI, right? Everybody is adopting AI. So we have to see that AI changes the way we work, right? So we need to be able to use AI, especially like stuff like Google Gemini and Cloud. from Anthropic. They help us write better code. They increase the productivity. So when with Chainguard they delivered a product. If I go back, I'll show you. They delivered a product which is called something like two Chainguard actions and agent scale. So it's a combination of these two that they're calling. It's called Chainguard Gardener. What it does, it basically is an intelligent agent. So they have not made it available. It's still in beta. It's not GA yet, but it's basically a combination of like something on the back end, like using LLMs. So you can ask any question to it, and you can give your Docker file, and it can help you generate a new Docker file. And so this can be used by the users in a way in which, if you want to move to a different Docker image or a multi-stage, then it can be very helpful. So what they discussed is, the product is called Gardener. I think it's still, as I was saying, it is based on AI, and it is still in the beta, but it can be run in a customer environment eventually when they release it. So it can run with your source repo and your artifact manager, like for example Artifactory. So it will know all these details, and then as part of this, when it's installed, so you can have your more stable Docker files, and you can analyze the packages. And what it does it that it will basically, so if you say, okay, this is my Docker file, can you help me generate a Docker file which has Chainguard image? So it will pull the image, it will build it. So this is an improvement I saw from the previous version. They had a Docker file converter, but this is more intelligent because it uses LLMs on the back. So what it does, it will pull the image, it will build it continuously, and then when it sees their packages, it adds those packages, and then it builds it. So make sure that the final Docker file that it's giving you is not just something it without testing. So it's basically a working Docker file. So that was something interesting which I am planning to explore myself, but I wanted to share with you. Also, one more thing, that there is a lot of information already available which I'm not going to repeat, but if you have more interest in, like, if you want to know what was the keynote about. So if you, I just looked for Assemble Chinga 2026. They have they have actually their own channel, and you can actually go and see what all was available and how the event went. And there were a lot of sessions related to people using vulnerability for images, how AI is helping, and then also how people are adopting. So a lot of great information. So check it out for sure.